Hey guys, Macalb here. Hey, I am a Diablo 2 speedrunner, and I just thought I'd give some tips and tricks on how to make the best of the Season 2 launch that is happening in just over a week from now. Um, a little bit of a background about me. I am a speedrunner for Diablo 2 Resurrected. I did Diablo 2 Lord of Destruction before that as well. I've got a couple hundred runs submitted to the website in a whole variety of categories. Some of them I even think are pretty decent times as well. So just a little bit about me. I thought I'd make this video so that you and your teammates or your friends can get together. You can craft a decent group, team composition, or you can just put together a good route to do that kind of makes sense for what your goals are. So what I've done is I've built out a casual, an intermediate, and kind of an advanced sort of angle that you could come at to getting to Hellbale faster, getting to level 80, or solo, getting to the point where you could solo Magic Find in Nightmare or Hell, whatever your goal is. I want to help you get there as efficiently as possible with as much dedication as you really prefer to put into it. So I broke it out into casual. I'll start with that. Casual kind of builds into these um, other categories that can become faster or min-max a little bit better. So I'll start with that. Sorceress, you can't get away without having Sorceress. There's nothing like teleport. Sorceress is completely busted, so absolutely you will want a Sorceress for this. If you don't have one, it'll add hours to the length of this time, so of course you want a Sorceress. Barbarian, I think battle orders is very important. Once you get to Hell, everything just gets so scary, and if you're underleveled and undergeared, you will really want those battle orders from a completely maxed out Barbarian. Really makes a difference, really makes it a lot more enjoyable. I added Druid as a recommendation or requirement, and I'll show you why. So Druid is absolutely busted, and what I've done is I've made on all these characters I've made character sheets in Maxroll and the D2 planner, and I've gone through and I've recorded the skill progression as if you were leveling, level 1, level 2, all the way up to level 26 is when I recommend you respec. So, but if you look at it, level 2, you can get a Poison Creeper. This is before you would kill Den. Even at the skill level 1, you're doing 12 to 18 poison damage in an AoE effect. Like, Poison Creeper is just busted. Like, it's easily the strongest skill. Even at level 2, going up to level 12, there's just nothing that does damage like it. If I take it up to level 12, it's doing 150 plus damage over 4 seconds. AoE, it is like insane. There is nothing that can keep up with it. So Druid will basically carry the group regardless. When you start off with Den, when you do Tristram or the Tower, all the way up to Andy. Not very good for Andy, but you should have Static by then, among other spells. But for anything that's not Andariel or Act Boss, Poison Creeper is just completely busted. And then compounding from that, when you respec at somewhere around level 26, you can get towards Grizzly Bear level 30. That's an incredible tank. You can max out Oak Sage. Oak Sage is just so strong. It really complements battle orders and makes your team just very hard to wipe. And then you've got Shockwave. You go into Werebear and you get Shockwave, and you have this AoE stun that stuns for a pretty significant amount of time. I put 7 skills, but you can take it up to like 14. You could really get those 10 plus second stun lengths. And Lycanthropy, you yourself as a Werebear, you'll have so much HP. Easily walk around with like 4,000 hit points before level 60. Very strong as a group, very strong to carry at the beginning as well. So I highly recommend getting a Druid. And usually someone likes to play Druid. Werebear might get a little boring. But you know what? You can go fire later on if that's what you want, or you can go summons. But I would highly recommend these 2 specs to get your group off. After that, you can pretty much just do any sort of damage. You kind of have a core group where you can get through the early game, you can survive the late game, and you have teleport. Your damage after that, as long as it's not insane specs, like going, what's the crazy, like Inferno or Blaze Sork would be a pretty awful spec in my mind. Or Charged Bolt, not the strongest, but if you have other specs like Lightning Fury for Amazon, it's incredible. Cold Sork, Fire Sork, Bone Necro's really not that bad, in all honesty. It's probably one of the weaker builds, acceptable builds. Light Trap, Fire Trap, very popular. Fire Druid with Sunder coming up. Fire Druid might be something that a lot of people end up visiting themselves. So a lot of different options. If you go to Maxroll, there's you can look up even more. You want to go to like popular profiles and say Druid, you can search that. Bam, you have a lot of different specs that you can work off of. So a lot of tools at your disposal. So this is what I recommended as like the core for a casual group. Anything less than this, like you're really making it hard for yourself. So that's what I'd recommend. But anyone can do what they want. You can fine join anything really. Intermediate, I recommended you add the core thing between casual and intermediate is you add a Telesork. Now what a Telesork is once the sorceress gets to, let's say, level 26, which is at level 25 is when you start getting experience for monsters significantly higher level than you. Like the actual structure of how you get experience changes at level 25. And then at level 26 is when you can buy greater mana potions in Nightmare and Hell. So do not, unless someone's rushing you to Hell CS as level 1 type of strats, unless you're doing something like that, I would not go into Nightmare under level 26. Like it just doesn't make sense. So intermediate speed, you kind of sacrifice someone. They would go ahead and try to teleport as everyone's doing, let's say, bail runs. The Telesork and maybe the Barbarian could go and get everyone to Nightmare, Ancients. Everyone else is level 40. Get them to Ancients. Then they start doing Nightmare Throne, and then Barbarian and Telesork can get through Hell. It's pretty tough, but with the Barb, attempting to get experience, I think the Barb would like bow the Telesork and then go back and do Throne bail runs with the group. The Barb, as long as the Barb gets like to mid 30s, maybe up to 40 or 44, try to get that bow skill up. It'll make it a lot easier for the Telesork. And if I remember right, for the Telesork, I recommended putting points into Energy Shield and Telekinesis. So with bow, it's not impossible to teleport through Hell. So that's kind of the difference. I also added Conviction and Salve Paladin. That kind of opens it up to, survivability just skyrockets. At this point, you're like invulnerable. You can do Fist of Heaven, or you can add another Paladin with Concentration Aura, like down here. And then you've got 3 Paladins with really strong hammers. Or you can just have Conviction, and then you can open it up to like having an Amazon and maybe like a Fire Druid, or you could have a Trap Assassin. This Conviction really enables everyone to do more damage. I actually just did this wrong. Now that Salvation. Let me fix that real quick. There we go. So yeah, then that opens up to 2 people. Like everyone wants an assassin, maybe another sorceress, maybe a druid. It opens it up to another elemental if you have this Conviction aura. The advanced. This is the current meta. This is super min-max, so I wouldn't expect a casual team to really do this. But the key things are, you've got, we'll talk about the Sorks in a second. You've got the Salve Paladin, which gives, like 80 to 100 extra resistances to the whole group. You've got Conviction Paladin, that really helps the Cold Sork out. And then the Conk Paladin, and this gives a max concentration aura to the other 2 Paladins. And now all the hammers are, pretty meaningful damage. Between the 3 of these, they create a kind of a swirl of death with all the hammers going around. But the key thing about this is not only do you sacrifice a Telesork, but you also have a Taxi Sork. Now what a Taxi Sork is dedicated to finding groups for everyone to kill. This Sork doesn't always stick around. But the goal of this Sork in Nightmare in Hell is you find 2-3 groups, you drop a TP, you go find 2 or 3 more. They will all join your TP, they will kill it. They're pretty safe with the Druid and the Barb. Everyone's in the same game, so you can all support the Telesork. If the Telesork inevitably dies in these runs, the Taxi Sork can take over while everyone else, the Paladins, can charge. The Barbs can, kind of meander around as everyone's killing groups and look for other harvests, other things to kill, while the Taxi Sork covers the Telesork. Telesork will leave the game, rejoin, get the body back, get bow, and then move forward. So there's so much utility in this that this just instantly became an incredible meta. Very min-max. If you want to try this, go for it. More power to you. But this is the current speedrun spec, and the current world record is 1 hour and 41 minutes. 1 hour, 41 minute Hellbale world record. So really fast. Alternative, this is what we did for probably the better part of a year. It's got everything. It's got another DPS instead of the Taxi Sork. The Taxi Sork just does a good job of catching up 5 to 10 minutes of Nightmare in Hell. And Sork honestly is pretty strong in normal. You have the Druid carry everyone to level 8, level 12, and then that's when the Sork really starts to take off, and suddenly this is just a really strong start character as well, so it's just very good. But this is a little more laxed. This doesn't sacrifice 2 people like this does, so this is maybe an alternative advanced if you want to go for something that doesn't have 2 Sorks at level 30 at Hell CS, then and maybe go for this. You have a lot at your disposal. So and then these alternative damage specs, you can go through each of these. You can check what I recommended, what level you want to start at or respec at. And once again, I've gone through and I've added a recording of where you put all your skill points. So okay, let's get to the route. So I built basically a casual route. It'll look pretty familiar with kind of the normal strategies to level. I added my own little twist to it, but it's all just normal principles that we all seem to take as we get rushed or as we do playthroughs. Start off with doing the Den of Evil, go to Rakanishu, find the waypoint, go find the tree, go back, you can do Tristram, grab the leg, go forward and find the tower. I think Countess is the best consistent XP in Act 1. So what I thought would be a really good idea is basically do Tristram. Like maybe half the group does Tristram, the other half does tower. People can join up for the tower because that'll probably take longer to do. And you can have the whole group go all the way to Countess. That'll get you some runes. I think that's really good XP. Recommended doing this to level 12. Once everyone hits level 12, you can start walking forward from Outer Cloister. Go kill Andy. I'm guessing you'll hit about level 14 at that point. Move on to Act 2. I think Stony Tomb is a very good way to get experience. There's 2 guaranteed groups. There's a chest room and a creeping feature. Creeping feature is a less well known. Super unique. And then usually you find 1 or 2 more groups. So I would say you average at least 3 groups in Stony Tomb. And then maybe you find another group or 2 in Rocky Waste as you're looking for it as well. And the chance of beetles. Beetles are great experience inside of the tomb or in Rocky Waste. It's just a very good method. And you can repeat that till everyone's 18, and then you can blitz Act 2. If you want, you could get everyone to level 16 or even start at level 14 and just start walking the desert and try and share experience as best as you can. I suspect most people will be at least level 16 before Arcane, if this is the route you take. If not, you want to get everyone, you want to get the sorcerers to level 18 as soon as possible, and then you can really get the Taurasha Tomb runs going. You can do that. You can do Taurasha Tombs until, I would say, like level 20. Just, it's nice to get to level 20. That's the key level. You can go as fast as you want to get to Ancients, or you can take it a little slower, get an additional couple levels. I'd recommend trying to keep it to somewhere between level 20 and the start to level 21 before Ancients. I think that's kind of the sweet spot. But yeah, you can all blitz to Duriel together, and then do Act 3 together. You can have the sorceresses teleport forward. If some people know how the maps work in Act 3, then it can go really quick. Otherwise, you can all split out and look for camps and get all of the objectives done that way as well. Finish Act 3. Do Act 4, you can go kill Izul. Make sure you have a sorceress to static Izul, or it'll take forever. You can P1 spawn CS if you have a sorceress who's comfortable doing that. If not, you can have your paladins put up fire resist aura. It's really, it's very doable at level 20, I think. Then you get to level 20, 21 as you're doing Act 5. Do all the quests. You can wait to do Anya until you're finishing up doing the bell runs later, or you can save Anya as well. Frozenstein is pretty beasty, but as a group or maybe a good sorceress could manage to do that as well. Once you kill Bale, you do 2 full runs of cows. If everyone's level 21 and everyone's grouped together, you should be able to all hit level 25 by the end of the second cow run, maybe even level 26. And then at this point is when it kind of loosens up. It's maybe more down to people's preference. You can do bail runs to level 30. You could do it to level 40. Level 40 seems a bit much to me, unless it's hardcore. I think if you go past level 40, maybe 45, you're really pushing your limits. If you get to level 50, I think you're really pushing it. But yeah, you get to that point, and your sorceresses can go forward with the battle orders at Nightmare and start teleporting. You can do harvests. You could walk it, whatever your preference is. I would have a sorceress basically go as fast as they really can and try to get you to Nightmare CS. At least get to level 40, and then you can do Nightmare Bell runs, which is a very good experience. You can take that to 45, all the way up to like level 70 if you want, and then you could start doing Hell. Getting to Hell, the comps that I recommended, they can handle Hell CS pretty well, to be honest. If you take it kind of slow, everyone will have 2,000 to 4,000 HP minimum. Damages is good. You've got 3 paladins, so you just melt things in Hell CS. that's where I would personally say recommend everyone goes, is they just try to get to Halcyon about as fast as they can, which is not necessarily easy to do, but if you have a good sorceress, some battle orders, you can make it happen. Anyway, that's the recommendations I had. If you want to use more advanced strats, Gymnasium has a spreadsheet. This is, I think the spreadsheet's like a couple years old, and it's got so much history to it. You've got Taxi Strat, you've got Classic Strat. About a year ago, we implemented 3 Paladins strat. Before that, it was 3 Sork, 2 Sin, and then you're just going back in time and just seeing how we've optimized the meta of all the classes and specs that we've done, and the route with that as well. At the bottom of this, it goes through all the route, level goals, where you're all at, and then you get to the bottom and it shows like the first level skill builds, and then the time that you want to respec, and what you respec into Jim, and those who have collaborated with Jim have done just a fantastic job. So if you really want to get into the meat of 8-man speedrunning, this is probably where you'll want to find yourself. But I figured I'd make this just in the meantime. This is very simple. It's not too overwhelming. It's got, step by step of how you can do it with any sort of skill level that you have. So anyway, that's all that I had. I'm once again, I'm a Calb. I'm a Diablo 2 speedrunner. Please come visit me at Twitch. I speedrun either solo or group, usually 3 to 4, maybe 5 times a week. And of course on YouTube, like and subscribe. I'm trying to get my YouTube videos going. I'm trying to get more of these guides out. So please, I appreciate any sort of support I get from you guys. But anyway, if you have any questions, I'll also link my Discord. You can come in and ask me any questions. I love giving advice. So hope to see you. But anyway, thanks everyone for joining. I'll talk to you guys later.